Good morning, everybody. It's Fred. I'm back. I've been getting a few questions, so I popped up again today to show you how to make one of these and to come up with some other concepts. So I'm just here, just doing a little pop-up, and welcome everyone. And I'm just going to change the old button here. Got to share the old thing here. I don't know what keeps telling me to do things. So I'm just doing a little quick pop-up today. Been getting a few inquiries and a few questions about, Fred, how did you actually make that thing the other day with Francine? So I thought I'd just do a little pop-up this morning. So it's nice to see you all this morning. So anyway, Francine made a design the other day using this lovely bark, birch bark, and by using foam. But of course we're trying to go a bit more sustainable, a little bit more environmentally friendly. Good morning, everybody. Yep, it's Fred, I'm back. So I thought I'd show you a couple of easy ways to make some of these mechanics. And then on Thursday, Francine's going to show you how to make another design just using bottles and cardboard that you might have around the home. So give you another concept to be able to play with. So here we go. So I've got here, these are polycarbonate test tubes, polystyrene, and they're clear. And so quite often make designs just using test tubes or little bottles because you can get them, pick them up. You might have a few at home that you could use. And so what I've done is I've just glued them into this really cool shape. But you find that some people have said to me, but Francine, Fred, I do remember who I am today, I'm Fred. The cold glue or the hot glue gun, when you use it, when it shrinks down, it pops, the tubes pop apart. So some of these I've done with a hot glue gun, and some I've done by using something like this. It's actually a glue that is really good at adhering two things together, whether it be plastics or whether it be glass, and I'm going to show you a couple of options. Morena, everybody, good to see you too, Linda. So it's a really good one to use. Now you can use the stuff that they call elephant glue, but Fred's a little bit clumsy, and I have visions of me being stuck together. So I decided I needed one that would take a little bit longer to adhere to, and also it gives you time to sort out exactly where you want it to go. So this one only takes about a minute to 2 minutes to really set properly, which is really good. So I've got the hot glue gun going here. So I've just got here a whole lot of these tubes, and I'm just going to show you just a really quick way. So you can make all sorts of shapes. You can go horizontal, you can go vertical, you can layer the small ones up with the large, you can do all sorts of concepts, and it's a really good mechanic to use. So I've got my hot glue gun going, and I mean it's really technical because you're just going to put the hot glue gun onto your tube, smear it round a bit, and then you stick your tubes together. But make sure when you do, you line it up so it's nice and straight so that they're flat. So you can lay them down, put them on the table so they're nice and flat. And then just you lay a whole lot of them together and you just keep gluing. You can do this if you haven't got the other glue, but I do find the other glue a lot easier to use, and I think it has a little bit more flexibility when you start putting the plant material into it, and then line it up. And the reason why we do that is so that it's going to sit nice and flat. So that's what we're doing here. So what I've got here is I've got one that I've pre-done, but I thought I'm going to show you how good this one is. All right, just get this off here. Now, always have a little plastic bag or something handy so you don't get your bench all messy. And then all you do is you just, a good dollop there, a good dollop there. You ever talk to your mate next to you? That's when we go to floral art. Love going to my floral art. It's really, really good. I mean, we love doing flowers, but I think it's just as much about the friends, isn't it? So now it's just about ready to set, and then you just lay the other one on top like that and let it set. Push it together a little bit and that'll set on there. And just wait, it takes a few minutes to harden off, but it's just about gluing them together. You want to get one that's okay to go on plastics. Just check, because some of them will actually eat into the plastic and melt it. We don't want that. And then just keep staggering them up until you're happy with the sort of the shape that you're making. So I've got these ones layered on top of each other, but you might want to offset them. So I might just show you a couple of examples of that if I can find some more tubes, because I've been getting tubes everywhere lately. I've got them all over the place. I'm just going to have to go back into my bottom shelf here and see what I've got here. Got all my test tubes in here. These are the polycarbs. Try these ones. So you might want to use some bigger ones. Really, a lot of it just depends on what you're making. So you can put a couple of these on here. Give it a friend, because otherwise it's lonely. Give it there. Stick the two together. Give you a good starting point. That'll give you a starting point, and then you can just glue them together. And this is a really good one to do just to get your mechanics made, and just keep gluing them. See how they're sticking together now? So you just buy a good hard glue, and see, they'll just keep sticking. Make sure that you have them where they're nice and straight at one end, so that means that they're going to balance. Now this wouldn't stand on its own, so what I would have to do is put another layer up this end here, so that I can have that just standing as a little freestanding vase. It's a really cool way of doing it. So, and then you can wrap it with bark and leaves and puts all those sort of things. Lovely to see you too, Dawn. And Violetta, it's lovely to see you too. So just let them set like that. So that's a really good way. But another reason why I like this glue too is I'll show you another concept. I'll just set that one to the side for the moment. I made this one yesterday. This is a really tall glass hanging vase that I've got. And so I've glued some of the vases, the test tubes on the outside of one of my old tubes, because I thought that would look really cool in a design, and I can keep building that at different levels and have my flowers coming at different levels, and then I'm going to make a little stand. So I might actually show you how to make this one tomorrow, Thursday. Francine will show you how to make this one with a different mechanic, because it's actually quite a cool concept of just other things that you've got. Another thing you can do is you might be having some old tubes at home, and you can use some of your bottles. You know, some of the wine bottles. I don't drink, but maybe some of you do. Or even just some of the other bottles that you might have from sparkling grape juice. But if you do, you can just glue tubes to the outside of that, and it'll give another totally different effect. So we might even do a couple of those so that you can see the different concepts. But it's about experimenting and seeing what you've got. Good day, Francine from London. And it's nice to see you too, Mimi. It's lovely to see you over there and all around the world, actually. And I hope you're all doing okay out there. But I'm just trying to show you a couple of different options. So I will show you some other ones to build your own containers and to make your own containers. So this one here I'd be reusing over, and I'll show you a different concept with that. So now that I've got them glued, I'll just put this to the side. The one that I made the other day, this one here, and I've just made it a little bit longer this morning. Better put the cap back on my glue. Move that over to the side. So this is the one that I made. So you can do some really cool stuff with this, and it almost looks like honeycomb. I think it looks really effective, and it's a good way to use up your old ones. You know how when they get marked and you think, oh crikey, it's all marked, I can't use that for competition work, but you can use it for just making a mechanic and covering it up. So the other day we got 2 pieces of the bark, and I had the oasis in it. Well, today we're going to wrap it around here. Bring that around that way, I think. And you just wrap it around your little containers like this, or your test tubes. Slide it down. Make sure it's nice and firm, so it's really, really going to hold. Then get your drill. I've got my drill here. Now be really careful when you're using the drill, but line up to make it tight. You need to make sure that you put the holes, so make sure you go either side of your fingers, and you drill through either side like that to make it nice and tight. And then I've got a bit of the Oasis paper coated wire here. I'm just going to put this, and I'm going to thread this through. And the reason why I like to use this paper coated wire, it blends in with the bark, but you could do a whole lot of cardboard. Beverly Moore did a really cool one the other day. I suggested using cardboard and covering it. Well, you can do that with leaves and all sorts of things, and you'll end up with the same effect. So if you're saying, but Fred, we haven't got any of that at home, try and do the same shape with a piece of cardboard, and then just cover it with some really interesting textures and fibres and all sorts of things, and then you can put your tubes in the middle, your bottles, and then you end up with a really cool concept. So I'm just going to twitch that up so it's nice and tight. So when I pick up my mechanics, it's okay. Now if you want to make doubly sure that it's going to hold, you can just take a little bit of your paper coated wire, and you can go around here. I might just do it this way, just go around. Just going to tie it up onto this end. Let's give it a little bit of a twitch around there so it's nice and tight. But make it look random. Don't make it look like it's been all absolutely perfect, because we want to go with the rustic. And this is just going to hold it all together. So you just go around like this, come back on itself, and you won't even really notice it, but that's going to hold all your mechanics into place when you go to put your flowers in. Put it in there like this. Come back over to this side here. Tighten that one up, twitch it up so it's nice and tight, like so, over the top. And you can tuck that down into the side by your tubes, and you won't even know that it's there, but it's a good way of holding all your mechanics together, so when you go to do it, it's just going to hold it all into place. And you're thinking, this is a bit flary out here, Fred. Well, it depends what you want to do with it. You know, you might want to put that so the vases or the tubes are on a slight angle, so you can make this go vertically. You could do it like that, all the water would fall out. But you could put them on a bit of an angle so the flowers could come in. Or you could do layers of them in a design, so one going this way and you have another one in another layer, which would look kind of cool. But I might even do another little one that I made before. See if I can pull that off. Yep, it'll come off. I'm just going to put a little grouping of them just here like this at this end. I'm going to drill a couple more holes down here. So it looks like it's part of the design. I don't really want to go cutting that. So cut it into here, line it up. Get some more of your paper coated wire, thread it through, like that. I'm all about easy mechanics, and once you've learned how to make them, you're away. And it's about having a look to see what you've got around home. I know some of you overseas are finding it hard to get things, so have a look and see what you can find in the cupboard. All sorts of interesting things. Oh, I might need to make that hole just a teeny bit bigger. Get that through. Pop that in there. I might have to cut that piece of wire. Frayed the end of it. Pop it in there. Oh, come on, Fred. We've got a big storm here at the moment this week. Boy, is it big. But it's really quite cool. I'm just going to have to pull a bit of that off there so I can get that through. It doesn't want to go through. Right, pull that together. Nice and tight. Set your tubes up. Then you just twitch it together. Make sure it's nice and firm. Really squeeze it together. Make sure it's firm. It's all about getting a grip, because you've got to get a grip. There we go. Put that over to the side. Now I've got like a little placement at the other end there, which I think when we put the flowers in, it's going to look kind of cool. So put this over here. That off my bench. Right, now let me get our little trusty test tube water bottle filler. You don't have to put flowers in all of them, but you might want to put a few in. So I'm just going to put a few up this end, give them a couple up there, fill a few of these up. I won't put flowers in all. I just went and had a look to see what I had left from the other day. And then I've got a few leaves here. Oh, I've got some of the geranium. I put a few of these little leaves. Oh, they're not very flash. Put those ones in there. Put a few out through this way, and I love this little pelargonium, the geranium here. It's just rather gorgeous. Nice lime green, a little bit zesty. Might put that whole one in there, just give me a bit of thing in the middle. A bit of unity. I've been listening to Francine. I'm learning a few of the little tips of the lingo that we have to use. So there we go. And then I'm going to put in just a few of these little, what are these? Chrysanthemums. Chrysanthemums. Put a few of these in here. Like so. Another little grouping in there. Give it a friend over this side. Pop one in there. Give it a friend. Take it over. I want everything to give it a bit of unity, so I'm going to put one out through here so it takes your eye right over the whole design. But you can put in as much or as little as you want. Then I've got here some, what are these things? These are callistemon, the bottle brush. But they've gone to seed, so I put a few of these in here, tuck them in. Put a few of those in there like so. I might put another one out through there, just take your eye through a bit. Another one out through here. So I'm just doing this a real rough. This is just sort of showing you just a couple of options. Put that one in there. I think that's all I've got. Put a bit of this amaranthusy stuff in through here. Take that so a bit comes down over the container. And you don't have to worry, because when you were doing it, I'd make sure that I used slightly bigger leaves, or Francie would use slightly bigger leaves so that you didn't actually see all the tubes. And I'm going to link those two pieces together, put a little bit more over there like so. Maybe another one of these just in there like that. And that's just showing you how you can use tubes to make a really cool table centerpiece. And you can use whatever you've got around home to be able to do that. So then have a look at the bottles and other things. Now another thing I'm going to show you how to do is by using foam core board. But if you haven't got foam core board, you can just use cardboard again. But I'm going to show you this one, how to make one of these. But Francine's going to show you how to do a really cool design using some of this sort of stuff. Again, using bark, but you could use the outer cardboard. And the reason why I've done it like that is I've got a couple of flaps here. So when I put the tubes in, I can wrap that around and tie that in underneath. So it's really going to hold that firm. And now I've made my own little container. So when we actually do this one, we're actually going to do this by using some of the bottles that you've got. And I'm going to show you a couple of different options for that too. But like I say, just a very quick pop-up, showing you options, showing you how to make your own mechanics for something a little bit different, using tube. when you look for the glue, make sure you look for one that sets in about 1 to 2 minutes. Don't get that elephant glue, because that stuff, you'll just end up attached to your work, literally. So it's much better to get something that gives you a little bit of time and a little bit to play with. If you haven't got any of this and you want to try and maybe, we don't have to use this brand, but try and find something that does set pretty quickly, like 1 to 2 minutes, not 10 seconds. And then you can use your hot glue gun, but do remember that those ones here, make your mechanic just a little bit more fragile, and when the glue gets cold, or you put cold things in, the glue will actually pull away from the tubes. So it's better to use something that kind of fixes it together. So I hope you're all going cool out there. This is Fred from New Zealand. Morena, everybody, and I'll catch up with you again soon. Keep sending those questions through, and everyone, please take care of yourselves out there. Bye for now.